else out there is a time freak like me? Like, if a person is 1 or 2 minutes late, I mean, I'm ready to just go ahead and pack up and go. It's very frustrating, to say the least, because you did everything you were supposed to do to show up on time, but why didn't that other person do that? And I guess maybe some people, they're just like, whatever, you know, there are people that think that being fashionably late is like a thing, but it really is not. Being fashionably late is just being late, okay? Let's just keep it real. Why didn't they make that extra effort to be respectful of other people and plan their time out and show up on time? So if this person is you, I got you. This video is for you. Share this video with that person. Just shows that you really have no respect for that person or their time and what they did to be on time for you. It's just not fair. I mean, 1 time, 2 times, maybe that's fine. You know, things come up. Nobody's perfect. You could have planned all the activities and everything that you were supposed to plan, and things just went wrong. Your car broke down, you know, there was an accident, the Uber showed up late, whatever the case. If you are going to be late, please be respectful of the person and their time. You may actually respect the person or the people that you're meeting, but when you show up late, it's saying the exact opposite. It's a slap in the face, basically, because it's like, well, you know, your time isn't important. Your time isn't as important as mine is. And who cares what you had to do to get there on time? Show the person that you've agreed to meet that you respect them and you respect their time. They could be doing something else with that time, whether they're going to be meeting someone else, whether they're just going to chill. I really do care, all right? But I really care about my time as well. A time bank is the same as a financial bank where money is distributed and saved. You save your time and distribute your time the same way you would in a bank. The difference between financial bank and a time bank is that your time bank is way more valuable than money, because once you've spent your time, you can't get it back. You know, you can make more money, but you are allotted so much time. I mean, let's just be honest. We are all born and we all die at some point. And whatever you use with that time in between is extremely important. But you need to decide what you're going to do with your time from the moment you wake up to the time you go to bed. Even the time that you sleep is important. All those things that you do with your time are important. So you need to think of your time and what's in your time bank as important as you would your money. And I'm not saying, you know, be anal about your time. Just be mindful of what you do with your time, so that when you are in a time deficit, you can maybe rearrange some things, or you can anticipate what would cause a time deficit. Like if you know that maybe your babysitter runs late, maybe they're the person that needs to be watching this video, tack on an extra hour. That way, if you're doing your time bank and budgeting it out, you won't cause the person that you're meeting to lose time from their time bank because you didn't budget your time the way you were supposed to budget it. It just took like one time for me showing up late to class and like all the seats were taken, or, you know, showing up late to the bus stop and everybody was gone. Like, that is a mortifying, horrifying feeling, you know. I mean, I just hate it. So some experience like that just kind of really pushed me over the edge as it pertains to time, because I can't be late. I mean, I really, obviously I can be, but I just choose not to be, because for me, it really does make me less anxious. You know? For me personally, when I'm not on time or when I'm running late, which is very rare, I get anxiety. Forget things when you're running out of time, You might have to run back home because you didn't like plan things out the night before. You didn't allot yourself the amount of time you needed in the morning to prepare. You might run a light or two because you're not paying attention, you're not focused. So like different things happen when you are running out of time versus if you were able to really manage your time properly. One of those things is that you're anxious. You don't want to be anxious. You want to be calm. You want to be focused. You want to be able to think clearly. You want to be mindful. You want to bring your whole person to where you're going versus feeling like you left some of it back at home because you were rushing. If you're at work, they have a project that's set up, they have deadlines, clients that have expectations about these deadlines, and there's money involved, there's things that are on the line. If the product that you're committed to being a part of is not provided. So everybody on the team is relying on you. They're hoping that you're going to be there and you're not there, or you're there late all the time. They're not going to use you for that next project because they're going to think, okay, well, the last couple of committees she was on, or the last couple of times that she was required to be a part of our project, your product was lacking because you weren't fully committed to it. You weren't there. So you're not able to level up your image. They're going to look past you the next time they have a big project that has deadlines and time expectations. So if you show up on time, then you'll be looked at as someone that appreciates the value of time, your time and other people's time. And that's regardless of how much education you have or your skill set. It's just that important. It's more important, in my opinion, than your skill set and your education, because you could be the most skillful person in a particular field. You could have the most education, but if you show up late, again, you'll be passed on because it doesn't matter. None of those things matter if you're not there to present them when they needed to be presented at the time designated. It just doesn't matter. The last thing that I want to say about this is that being late should not be considered a part of your character. It should not be accepted as part of your character. Like some people will say, I'm just a procrastinator, or I work better when I do things at the last second. I know there's a test that's coming up, but if I cram the night before, I'll be able to retain those things easier. And maybe that's something that might work for a person. I don't know. But in all honesty, you shouldn't receive that as part of who you are. You're not a procrastinator. You're not someone that is always late. Don't just accept that. Think about how your behavior and how you manage your time affects the people around you. Don't just show up late or tell them you're on your way like an hour after the fact. That's frustrating. That's very, very frustrating. Don't do that. And how that might impact them achieving their goals or their endeavors because of what you're not bringing to the table. If you're not bringing yourself when you're supposed to be bringing yourself. You only get so much time, and what you do with that time is very, very, very important. Just do it. Just do it. It is what it is, okay? On time.